guys, if you're the type of consumer that really wants the best bang for your buck and is looking for an Apple computer, a used iMac may be the best option for you, and today I'll tell you why. Overall, the iMacs can look all the same on the outside, especially after 2012 when the slim models were released. However, the specs can vary a lot and the options are endless. So there's pretty much an iMac for every type of user depending on the specs that you choose. I've organized this video in 3 main sections to explain that for you. The first one is the price. The iMac that I'm showing you is the 2015 27-inch 5K iMac with a quad-core i5 3.3 GHz processor, 16 GB of DDR3 RAM, 1 TB HD, and I paid $750 on eBay. Now, a new 27-inch iMac with basic specs cost $1,800 on Apple's website, more than double of the price of a used one. Also, going into the second category, many people decide to buy one of these iMacs not because they need the specs itself, but because they want a big Apple display. Also, that's usually a type of user that don't really need portability, really wants a desktop at home, and is generally not in need of an extremely fast processor for what they do daily. So why not spend less money, practically 50%, and buy a used one, right? It's also important to consider that it wouldn't be cheap to buy a 5K monitor that costs around $1,100. Besides, you would then need to buy the MacBook, Mac Mini, or PC to use alongside it. The iMac, on the other hand, has the monitor, computer, all in one for a cheaper price. Don't forget that I paid only $750. Now, the third category, or the third type of user, I would say, that would be extremely happy when choosing a used iMac is that geek user that really likes to open computers, change parts like upgrade the RAM, add SSD, replace the HD, things like that. Which was exactly what I did with this iMac, and it resulted in better performance. When we decide to buy a new computer on Apple's website, we have the option to upgrade certain things. However, the computer will be a lot more expensive. For example, if I decide to add 2 TB of SSD to a new iMac, I would have to, first of all, choose one of the top models that starts in $2,300 because there is no option to add 2 TB of SSD in the basic iMac. And then I would also have to pay $700 extra for the SSD itself. However, even though this computer would be a lot more expensive, I cannot forget to mention that there are pros of making this upgrade when buying a new iMac, and there are 2. First, practicality, as you won't need to open the iMac to add the SSD yourself. And second, warranty. Because you won't need to open the computer, the warranty will continue to be valid. Now, going back to my project, I bought the 2015 27-inch 5K iMac with a quad-core i5 3.3 GHz processor, 16 GB of DDR3 RAM, and 1 TB HD, as I've said in the beginning of the video. But what did I do? Well, I've added 2 TB of SSD and replaced the 1 TB HD with 3 TB HD that I had here at home, which resulted in 5 TB. 3 from the hard drive and 2 from the SSD. As I bought a 2015 iMac, the motherboard is also older, and the SSD socket doesn't support the SSD speed from the SSD that I bought. I ended up purchasing the Sabrent Rocket on Amazon, which is an SSD that you plug to the PCI slot. However, it's an NVMe 2 memory. This motherboard in particular doesn't support this SSD's maximum speed. So after plugging it with an adapter, I had an average of 750 megabytes of read and write speeds. Speeds that used to be 160 megabytes before the change. But yes, a more modern motherboard, like the motherboard from a new iMac, would allow you to have faster SSD speeds. However, after 500 megabytes per second, it's really hard to notice the difference between a fast SSD and an SSD that is not that fast. I've also watched a video from Linus Tech Tips, where he compares 3 different computers with different SSDs. And in the end, not even his teammates knew which one was faster for normal tasks and gaming. Now, what about RAM? Well, I'm not going to talk about this in this video because all 27-inch iMacs have a memory compartment door in the back that was made for upgrading the RAM. So this upgrade would be fairly easy as you wouldn't need to open the whole computer. However, take note that the 21-inch iMac and the iMac Pro don't have this door. So if you want to make this upgrade in these models, you would have to open the whole computer. Now, talking about the process itself, to add SSD to an iMac, you need to unglue the display, disassemble the whole iMac, remove the motherboard, add the SSD, and then reassemble it. Reglue the display and everything else. It's not an easy process. I used the iFixit guide with a step-by-step tutorial. I've added the link in the description in case you want to check it out. I also bought a toolkit from them that is also in the description, and I also purchased the stickers to reattach the display. Just so you guys have an idea, the final price of this iMac with the upgrades was $1,005. Already considering the $220 that I've spent on the SSD, this final price is still cheaper than a new iMac with basic specs. But this was one of my projects and it wasn't simple. Not everybody will do this at home, and I'm saying this again so you guys don't call me crazy. In conclusion, the iMacs have a modern design, which is what the majority of users look for in a Mac. It has a great performance for a better price. And if you're the type of user that likes these types of projects like the one that I did, you would also have the option to make upgrades using third-party parts, which allows you to personalize it according to your needs, spending a lot less money than buying a new one. But again, this is not an easy process, and I don't recommend that you try this at home. I really just wanted to share my experience with you and show you that an iMac may be a great option when choosing a desktop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I helped you with the search for your new computer. I will also be posting a MacBook buying guide in the next few weeks, so stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss anything. Also, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.